Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is pretty exciting. I am going to be trying a new color corrector today for under my eyes. So I'm on a no-buy this month and I did not plan to buy this, but I found it. I'd never heard of it. I never tried it, obviously, and I've never heard anyone else talk about it either. So I felt it was my duty to buy it and try it for a video. So if you want to know what corrector I am talking about, definitely keep watching. If you're new here, my name is Blair and I do all kinds of beauty content, but I love trying out color correctors for under the eyes because I myself always struggle with darkness and I love to try color correctors and find the best ones for you. So if you're interested in trying a new one today with me, please keep watching and let's go ahead and get started. All right, I zoomed you in a little bit, so hopefully you can see really well. And the corrector that I found is this one, and it's from the brand Col.lab. Col.lab, I don't know how you say it, but it is the No Flaws Liquid Color Corrector in the shade Peach. I was in Sally's Beauty Supply and I went in there not looking for this, but looking for some nail stuff. And I was just browsing around and I was looking at the makeup. I saw the Col.lab section and I saw this corrector. I'm sure someone has talked about this before, but I have never seen a video on this or obviously tried it myself. So I really wanted to give it a try. And before I started filming, I've been kind of testing it on the back of my hand compared to some of my other correctors. So I figured I would just kind of swatch a few of them so you could see. So this is the Col.lab color corrector and I was really interested in trying this because of the color. So sometimes with color correctors for myself, they can't have too much orange in them. Typically for blue and purple dark circles, you need something with a little bit of a peachy, pinky undertone. And sometimes they have a little too much orange in them. Like this one from NARS. This is the Radiant Creamy Color Corrector in the shade Light. I did a video on this one a while back and I love the consistency of this, but this one is a perfect example of one for me has a little too much orange in it. So that's it there. This is the Col.lab one. So do you see the difference? That one definitely has more of a yellowy orangey undertone, which will work better for someone if you have more green or brown tones under your eyes. But if you have blue and purple dark circles, typically you're going to want something with a peach or a pinky undertone. So the one that it's closest to in my collection, I would say, is the Neutrogena Clear Coverage Color Corrector, which I love this one. I talk about this and use this all the time, but I just want to show you the difference in color of these three, okay? So we have Neutrogena right here. We have Col.lab right here, and we have NARS, okay? So you can see there's a clear difference. Neutrogena is obviously the lightest one. Then we have, but it still has that peachy undertone. Then we go over to the Col.lab one, which is a bit darker and a bit peachier. Then we have the NARS in the shade Light, which is definitely more yellow, orangey toned. So I just kind of wanted to compare them for you. Let me also compare one other one for you. This one is obviously a different formula, but this is a perfect color for me, so I wanted to show you. But this is Bobbi Brown in the shade Bisque. So there is Bobbi Brown. Bobbi Brown, Bisque, Neutrogena, Col.lab, and NARS. So Bobbi Brown looks to be the closest to the Neutrogena one, so I'll be curious to see how this Col.lab one does. But I just wanted to give you a few comparisons just so you could see the difference. Y'all know, if you know me, I love to try out color correctors. It's one of my favorite things ever. And one more thing, I do in the next month or so have a video that will be coming, and it's going to be all about color correctors. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but I'm going to try as many as I can. I'm going to show you what they look like, tell you about the differences, the price points, everything. So if you are new, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. But let's go ahead and apply this under my eyes. So this is what it looks like. It does have a doe foot applicator. It's a little bit of a slanted applicator. So we'll do one eye at a time. So we'll start with the left eye. So I'm going to put some in the inner corner, and then I typically do put some on my outer corner too, because I typically do get some darkness out here. This eye is typically a little bit darker. I have a vein that's pretty prominent right here that kind of runs all the way up the side of my face, like you can kind of see. So my left eye is typically a little bit darker. Usually when I apply a color corrector, I let it sit for like 30 seconds or so before I blend it in. I personally like to use a brush for color correctors, so I am just gonna tap this in and we will see the difference. I will say this is a very thin formula. It's very liquidy, very similar to the Neutrogena clear coverage. So if you're familiar with that one, the formula is very similar. It blended in really easily and quickly. I love to use a brush like this. This one, I'm not sure if they make this anymore. It's by AOA Studio. It's the E104, but it's just a little tiny kind of round, dense brush, but it's the perfect size to like fit under your eye. I also love the Smashbox blurring concealer brush for this step. I'll see if I can find this one online. I'm not sure if they still make it or not, but this is great. Here we go. So we have corrector on this side. We have no corrector over here. It looks pretty good. Definitely, like we could see with the swatches, it definitely has a little bit more of an orangey tint to it than the Neutrogena. Neutrogena and Bobbi Brown and Bisque have a bit more pink in them, which typically I prefer, but this one looks pretty good, to be honest. So I'm thinking what we might do is take just a little bit more. I just kind of want to see what happens if you add like one more little dot. Typically with a liquidy corrector like this, you don't get as much in terms of coverage as you get with more of a cream product like the Bobbi Brown pot corrector or the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Vanish corrector. Those, because the consistency is a little bit thicker, you typically get a little bit better coverage. So to me, you can clearly see a difference with corrector and without. It always amazes me when you see one eye done and one eye not done, the difference that corrector makes. It looks pretty good, you guys. The trick with correctors, honestly, a lot of the times is not even the particular brand or the particular corrector that you get, it's the color. That's what you kind of have to nail, which typically with color correctors, they don't have a ton of colors to choose from. Like the Col.lab, for example, only comes in this one and a dark peach, which is a good bit darker than this. And then there's a green and a yellow, I think, but those typically aren't for under the eyes. Whereas with Bobbi Brown, I think they make like 14 or 15 different tones, which is really nice because that is what makes the biggest difference with a corrector. It's not really the corrector itself, it's more the color. So I always like to try out any that I can find because it's just going to depend on you and what issue you are trying to address under your eyes. if that makes sense. But if you're a similar skin tone to me and you have blue and purple dark circles, you might like this because it looks pretty good. It's not super glowy, it's not super matte. It looks pretty like a natural satin finish under my eyes. All right, let's go ahead and do the other side. So like I said, this side is typically not quite as dark as this side because I do have a vein here, but you can't see it as much as you can on my other eye. Same thing. We're just gonna tap this in under the eyes. I really like the formula on this. It blends out like extremely easily, even after letting it sit for like a minute. So we're just tapping it in, and you could obviously do this with your finger or you can do a sponge. I personally think sponges just pick up too much of the product and then you end up having to apply more to get the correction that you're wanting. So I would always recommend either a brush or your finger. So what do you think? To me, it looks pretty good, honestly. It'll be interesting to see how it looks once I put concealer and the rest of my makeup on, because I obviously don't have anything else on my face, but I'm pretty impressed with this so far, which is really exciting because like I said, I'm always trying new correctors and I love to find the best options, and especially at an affordable price. I paid $12.99 for mine in store at Sally's Beauty, and I did look online. They do have it online, so you can order it. For some reason, it's $18.89 online, but I paid $12.99 in store. But still pretty affordable. It's less than a lot of the correctors you get from Ulta or Sephora. So I did want to share it with you, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I will show you what it looks like, and we will wrap up the video. All right, so I finished my makeup, obviously, and I wanted to show you what this looks like. So I did put concealer on. I have the same concealer under my eyes and all over my face. So the concealer that I use, if you're curious, is the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer. I love this concealer so much. I love it on my face and under my eyes. I wanted to use something that I know that I really like. So here's what it looks like, you guys. This looks so good with that concealer on top, and I just put one dot on each side. This is a very liquidy serum, obviously, texture, so it spreads really easily, so you don't need a lot, and it looks so good on top of that corrector. I did not powder under my eyes or anything, and so far there's no creasing going on, and it definitely did a really good job covering my dark circles with that corrector underneath. I'm so excited that I decided to try this out because like I said, I've never seen anyone talk about it, and this is very good. I will definitely continue to use this. If you have dark circles that are purple or blue toned and you are a similar skin tone to me, you might want to consider trying this out from Sally's. I'm not sure if you can get this brand anywhere else. Like I said, it is online, so I'll link it below, but you could also get it from Sally's in store if you have one near you. But this is definitely a win for me. I like this a lot. I like this as much, believe it or not, just off the first time using it, as the Neutrogena, and I love the Neutrogena one. I do think the Neutrogena, like I said earlier with the swatches, is just a little bit lighter, not quite as dark, but there's not a huge difference. So again, we have the Col.lab one right here and the Neutrogena one right here. That one was the NARS. This is after they've dried down for like 30 minutes. But I like this. I like this a lot. And that is going to be it for this quick review of a new color corrector. I hope this was helpful and that you enjoyed it. If you have a corrector you want me to review, please let me know in the comments, and I I will definitely do that. I'm probably going to start a playlist of my corrector reviews because I've done quite a few here on my channel, and it's just one of my favorite things to try out. So thank you so much for watching. I will list the Col.lab color corrector as well as the rest of the makeup that I have on below if you are curious. Thank you for watching. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with your friends or anyone that you think might enjoy my videos. Make sure to follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.